How's it going, everybody? CJ here. Back in another video. We'll do another first toss today. This first toss is on Galazeth Prismari. That name may be a little off because of the fact that it was a foreign spoiler and the English spoiler hasn't actually been revealed yet. Like, it hasn't come out. The exact translation has not come out yet, but we have what should be the exact translation for this card. And hopefully I changed the text to English if it wasn't already English. But we're going to hop into this. But before we do, remember, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. We're getting close to 800. Come on, guys. I want to hit 1,000 as soon as possible. Comment down below what you're doing with Galazeth. This card's really cool. I'm excited about it. Hit the like button. We got Twitch and we got the Twitter and we got the Discord all down below. We got the TCG Player affiliate link down below. If you want to buy the cards that I talk about here, buy them through that link. Helps out the channel. And the Patreon is down below, so check that out. Also, my Pokemon channel is down below. Please pick my starter. As soon as spoiler season's done, I'm going to do episode 2 of that because I can do this now. But yeah, we're going to hop into this now. So, Galazeth Prismari. Very, very cool card. It's got like Urza vibes to it. It seems sweet. It's going to be like an Urza artifacty. It's going to be like an artifacty spell slinger deck. I'm excited. It's cool. It's cool. So your artifacts can tap for mana for instants and sorceries. So it's nice. And so yeah. First thing I want to talk about is online/offline artifacts. So online/offline. Now, I don't know if there's an actual term for it, but that's just a term that I'm using. So they're artifacts that don't do anything if they're tapped, but they do their effect is only active if they are untapped. So typically these have a bad ability for people. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, but you have the ability to control when the artifact is tapped by tapping it for mana. So you can like tap them so that way you're not affected by it, but your opponents are. Or untap them or have them tapped so that way you are affected and your opponents aren't. Like, you can control it so that way you have a good situation going on. And so the cards I want to talk about for this are a lot of Stax cards and a lot of other just decent cards. So we got Winter Orb, we got Static Orb, you can stack them out, Trinisphere, Storage Matrix, Meek Stone, all those same thing. Then you also got Howling Mine, so you get an extra card draw, but your opponents don't. Plus, you get Mana Dork out of it. You got Genesis Chamber, so you can get some extra dudes, and they're actually artifact creatures, which is relevant. And Blinkmoth Urn, so you get extra mana, and your opponents don't. And it's also relevant because you've got a lot of artifacts that you're going to be playing. And this deck is going to need a lot of control cards. I would assume this would be a very, very control-heavy deck. Or just a spell slinger deck, but like you can decide what you want to do with it. Like, you can make it a very control heavy deck, you can make it a spell slingy deck, you can just have some fun with it, lots of card draw, do whatever. Like, you can fill out the deck however you really want to. I'm just here to give some ideas. And so some ideas that I have here, another thing I want to talk about are just some good artifacts to run in the deck, just so that way you have stuff that taps for mana that's relevant. You can use Tormod's Crypt, Relic of Progenitus, or Soul Guide Lantern. All those seem pretty good. They can handle graveyards, and when they're not handling graveyards, they're mana rocks. Seems solid. You can use Grafdigger's Cage for pretty much the same thing. You got the Artifact Lands, Sea of the Synod, Great Furnace, and Darksteel Citadel. These just become strictly better because they can tap for any color of mana as opposed to just a single color of mana or colorless. You can throw in Sensei's Divining Top. You can tap it to add mana to look at the top 3. So basically, you tap it to look at the top 3 cards of your library as opposed to paying one, which is pretty cool. Mirage Mirror seems sweet just because it's a really, really cool underrated card. And being able to tap it for mana means that it only costs 2 mana really to activate. And I just like the card. I think it'll be cool in this deck. And Witching Well, and just Battlefield, you get Scry. I think it's 2, you Scry 2, but then it's just a 1 mana rock that taps for mana. Seems decent. Like, pretty much any artifact just becomes better with Galazeth in play. Just becomes better. Another way you can take this deck is like a lot of treasure themes, because he does make a treasure when he enters the battlefield. So you can just go heavy into the treasure stuff and throw in cards like Gadrak, Goldspan Dragon, make the treasures double. Shiny Impetus, you got Pirate's Prize, Brass's Bounty, Spell Swindle, which seems really sweet because it fits the control theme as well. Magda, and you can pull out some cool dragons or some cool artifacts. I'm sure that you will have good artifacts inside this deck to pull out. Hold Breacher, fantastic card, and Dockside Extortionist, same thing. You can also throw in like Indomitable Creativity, and then you can polymorph away a bunch of treasures into real stuff. Seems cool. And you're going to have a lot of mana because all your artifacts tap for mana, so... And your treasures tap for mana, and you don't need to sack them. And now I'm just going to talk about a bunch of one-off cards that seem really good. I got a lot of one-off cards. I'll start with the ones that are good for the heavier artifact theme. You can throw in Brutaclad, turn your tokens into some crazy stuff. Unwinding Clock seems fantastic in the deck because you can just... It's almost like a Seaborn Muse in this deck. Seems very powerful. With... Michael Synthlatus, it is a Seedborn Muse. That seems really sweet. Sapphire Medallion and Ruby Medallion seem great to just make your spells cost cheaper while also being mana rocks. Mechanized Production, cool win con, especially on like a Darksteel Citadel because it's indestructible and a land, so it's hard to stop. Mirror Battlesphere comes into play and you makes 4 tokens. So it costs 7 mana, but it creates 5 mana worth of mana dorks. You get Shimmer Dragon to draw cards off your artifacts. You can use Efficient Construction, Psymaster Thopterus, and a bunch of other cards to just create a bunch of tokens. Mirrodin Besieged. Just create a bunch of artifact tokens. Joyride to draw a bunch of cards. You got Storm the Vault, which is a sweet card. Super underrated. I forgot that it actually has a treasure thing to it too. And it also just flips into a Tolarian Academy, which is a good card. Maybe Tolarian Academy will get a reprint in this. It's not a reserve list or anything, right? We got... That's everything I got for the artifacts. Alright, so now standalone stuff that has to do with spell slinging. We've got cards like Trail of Evidence. It creates artifact tokens whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, so it ramps you whenever you cast an instant or sorcery. That's awesome. We got Saheeli Sublime Artificer. This actually works in both, and it just creates a bunch of artifact tokens, which is really good. You got Mizzix. Seems pretty decent. Same thing with Melik. Niv Mizzet Peru. Just draw a bunch of cards and deal a bunch of damage. Reiterate. I like this card a lot in the deck because you're going to make a lot of mana, so you can just copy stuff and buy back pretty easily. You got Baral to make things cheaper, along with Goblin Electromancer, and Jace's Sanctum. You can throw in Jessica's Will as a wheel and, what's it called? Oh my god, Ritual. Wheel and Ritual effect. You got Talrand, Murmuring Mystic, and Young Pyromancer for the pretty much the same thing as Saheeli, except unfortunately they don't make artifact tokens, but they're still tokens, so you can fill a pretty good board state. Primal Amulet also makes them cheaper, and then he copies. You got Double Vision to copy. And actually, that's it. That's everything I got written down. Alright, I think we did that pretty quick. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And I will see you guys next time. Peace out, everybody.